Open Your Eyes is brought to you by the Belize Bank. Our country, your bank.
Good morning and welcome to Open Your Eyes.
Start your morning right.
I'm Marlene Cuellar.
And I'm Paul Lopez.
And thank you for joining us this morning.
It's Friday.
That's right. Paul, you've been hanging around here quite a bit, huh?
I know, right? This has been, my third appearance this week.
Yeah.
I completely enjoy being on set.
You like early mornings too?
Well, I have to adjust to it, but I prepare myself from the night before, saying, all right, you got to hit the bed early in order to wake up and not feel groggy and feel miserable. And then coffee helps as well, a whole lot.
Thank you, right?
Yeah.
I take my hats off to people who can start their day without coffee, because I am not one of them.
People who demonize coffee, I have nothing against you, but have you tried it?
Well, I mean, like it or not.
Yeah.
I'd love to know how you survive.
Same.
I know some people do tea as well, and there's the whole wake up and drink cold water that wakes you up. I try that too, but nothing hits the spot like coffee.
Definitely.
But it is a lovely Friday morning. There's no rain coming to work today.
It seems that if it rained last night
It
whole
did,
lot,
though,
I didn't hear it. Maybe I was knocked out, but I woke up this morning and saw some flooding in the drains in the area. So I said, wow, it appears as if it rained heavily last night. But what I'm seeing this morning, like you rightfully said, we're seeing some clear skies, at least here and there. Also seeing some clouds developing. So it's yet to be seen. We're obviously not the weather experts, but it's yet to be seen whether it will rain or not.
That's right. And the weekend's ahead, so I'll take whatever it gives me, right?
Right. I mean, you could rest. You could be we will. I know that I will be inside resting.
Yeah, because you can't party. There's a 9 p.m. curfew, remember?
Yes, that.
Yeah, that still happens. Yeah. No, it was interesting. And speaking of which, of gatherings and stuff, yesterday we saw Marianne Ali share her story.
Yeah.
She kind of gave us a detailed description on the show here about what it was like testing positive and getting sick and being hospitalized. And last night we saw the process to recovery that was, tough to watch, I think, when you put it all into perspective. But I'm so grateful that Marianne is one of those people who's so open with their stories. Not everyone shares their COVID story so easily.
What I liked most about her story, or one of the things I like, because there's many aspects that I loved about that story. One of the things I liked the most was how she used her experience and this platform she has to encourage people. A stern warning, in fact, telling them, hey, you guys need to stop partying. You need to stop this gathering, because you don't understand necessarily how great of an effect this has, COVID-19 has, how serious of an issue it is. So after listening to her story, I felt, comforted by her openness, but I also felt like an authority was talking to me, saying, get it together, Paul.
Well, and the science is clear. The science says that even with limited, with restrictions around and social distancing, it's kind of those informal gatherings. Those are the ones that are going to get you. People get COVID by sitting and having lunch with friends or coworkers because you don't have your mask on and you're usually in close proximity and, talking to each other. So it does continue to spread. But I think for me, one of the bigger issues that we really haven't discussed is how stigmatized it still is with COVID-19. And so that's why when I think she comes out and shares her story, it's important, as all others who have. We've seen medical professionals. We've seen other persons come on the show talking about their how they contracted COVID or how they think they contracted COVID, and especially the battle of getting through it, and now looking at the recovery, which looks painful as well.
Yeah, and I think her underlying conditions, which she
Yeah.
expressed
Yeah.
in her story, did not make the experience any easier and has not made recovering any easier for her.
Yeah.
And perhaps that's one of the other serious aspects of her story, enlightening people with comorbidities to
Yeah.
take this virus serious as well. I know Offset, I'm not sure if she shared it in the story, but she shared that the vaccine was the thing that saved her life.
Yeah.
And even through her journey, she was kind of doubtful that, hey, I still got COVID, I'm still
Yeah.
hospitalized. I'm wondering if this vaccine really is doing for me what it's supposed to be doing. And then hearing her say that she spoke to a doctor after she exited the hospital, and just that conversation made her realize that if it wasn't for the vaccine, while she had these underlying
Yeah.
conditions, she wouldn't be here right now.
You know, I think that's one of the things I've been putting into perspective this week, especially. When we look at Marion's example and the power of vaccinations, we know one thing for sure: Delta is highly transmissible, which means it easy for catch.
Yeah.
So there was before with COVID, you used to talk about exposure without a mask for extended period, for a certain period of time. Now Delta, they were saying if one person in the household has it, then pretty much everyone in the household has it. And so I use that as an example to say, knowing the transmissibility of Delta, Marion, in fact, when she tested positive, we all tested negative.
Right.
Because we're all vaccinated. And I think it does underscore the power of vaccination. I had another close scare this week as well, which was why I was out. I was waiting to get tested. And again, the power of vaccination has helped to protect you. Now, it doesn't mean that you are fully protected, but it does lessen your chances. And I think that is, for me, it solidifies the extra layer of protection that we have allowed ourselves to have by getting our vaccinations.
And I
mean, you sit, I know it was very worrisome for you because you sit in close proximity to Maria.
Right
Yeah.
next to her. So
Yeah.
I was the one that was out of office for a longer period, awaiting results.
Yeah.
I got tested more than once. In fact, I
Because
got
your mind plays with you.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I'm wondering,
It's like it's so close.
why is it that I don't have this virus?
Yeah.
The first test says negative. I'm like, no, man, this can't be. and I had a little bit of symptoms, and that was beginning to play on my mind. I said, wait, no, man, I have to get tested. So by the end of the week,
Test it
I
again.
took another test. That came back negative,
Yeah.
and I said, all right, I need a PCR test now, just to verify. And so I waited through the weekend, and 2 days after, at the beginning of the week, and then that test came back negative.
Yeah.
And I said, all right, good. So I'm safe.
But you
And
see, comes back to one of the things, and maybe we don't say that enough. Maybe we don't say, hey, look at these stories where persons who have had exposure don't contract it, and the most probable reason for that, given the fact that Delta is so transmissible, is because we are protected by vaccinations and mask use.
definitely, and I feel safer
Yeah.
going out. I feel safer being in public. And so I know for sure that the vaccine has definitely added a level of protection to me. And it's encouraging to see that Belizeans are beginning to catch the wave, if not they're already on the wave, in terms of getting vaccinated. We continue to see the number of vaccinated persons increase. I was looking at one study yesterday, still trying to verify the accuracy based on the statistics, but the study is basically saying that based on SIB's updated population statistics, it's saying that 70% of the population, Belize population that is eligible for vaccination, at least 65 to 70%, are vaccinated. That is excluding the population between the ages of 12 below and below. And so just looking at that, getting some sort of sense of where we are with that brought some level of encouragement to me, because being vaccinated for me and the population being vaccinated doesn't only mean that we're protected, but for me it gives me hope that we'll soon open up. It gives me hope that we'll soon get back to some sense of normalcy, that maybe we'll be able to increase our gatherings from 10 to maybe 20 and 25, and we'll be able to go to concerts and we'll be able to be out. I long for those days, Marlene.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think we have to wait till September for a concert. I think once we declare the all clear, it
We'll
should
have
just
an
be,
all clear
let's
concert.
celebrate the end of pandemic.
Right.
But, I think a key thing to look at, especially with the week coming, is that we know from the Prime Minister that he said that they are looking at that positivity rate. And the hope is that by the end of the month, which is next week, that there will be the country will be down to a 10% positivity rate, which would then allow them to push back the curfew by an hour, going down another 5% by the end of that month, and then giving you a midnight special, a Cinderella curfew on weekends in December. So that was the plan that he outlined to us. Something to look forward to, especially as Christmas draws closer.
Did you see yesterday's percentage? We were at 11.8%, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm always cautious because I feel that we go into this cycle that like numbers go down and then we relax and then the numbers spike again. So it's like let's continue to play it safe.
Right.
Do everything that you started doing in September through to this weekend so we can get to 10% by the end of next month and start to see some of the relaxations. The hospitalizations don't look as high anymore either. The new confirmed cases are almost 300, but we also had over 300 recoveries as well. Yeah. And 2 persons lost their lives to COVID again. But, I wanted to come back to something you were saying about, we were talking about vaccination and the extra level of protection. I do think we need to be clear as well that we know that breakthrough infections happen. And it happens with healthy people and it happens with people with underlying conditions. If you have underlying conditions or conditions that make you more vulnerable to getting severe COVID, you are still very much at risk. Yeah. Even with your vaccination, it may increase your chances of survival, but you still have to be absolutely careful when interacting with others. And of course, you've heard it over and over, but do remember, those are persons with diabetes, persons with hypertension, elderly persons, obese persons, and anyone who has an illness that has suppressed their immune system, including cancer.
Right, and that's why it's important as well to add to the vaccination the practices of wearing a mask, the practices of social distancing, avoiding gatherings, and just staying safe.
Yeah. And from one health issue to another, speaking of cancer, your story last night, Paul.
It broke my heart.
Yeah.
I won't lie to you. I called the mother, understanding that mother of Cordella Duran, understanding that they were organizing a barbecue for Saturday. And we oftentimes highlight these initiatives, and I figured, hey, can we come over and just get to hear some of what's happening in terms of this barbecue. And when I got over there, I was not expecting the story that we got. Just appreciating this mother and the fact that she would move mountains for her child in order to see her well. And on a day that we celebrate cancer survivors, I think this story highlights very well what cancer patients go through.
Yeah, I mean, just such a smart
Yeah.
girl, so beautiful and so strong. The way she was able to give her whole account of the story. She got emotional when she talked about her mom's
Yeah.
support.
Oh,
And then, she fought through it, and she
yeah.
continued to talk about, just how she's optimistic about the outlook.
Yeah.
Clearly, mom was a teacher who had
Mom
to
was a
leave her
teacher.
work to
Yeah.
to take care of her.
Yeah.
And by the way Cordella talks, clearly she's a very good teacher.
Yes, Cardella is very smart.
Yeah.
I mean, when we first got there and we started speaking to the mother was very nervous, and Cardella was on the side encouraging her mom. Mom, just be strong. Mom, you could do this. Just calm down and don't be nervous.
Oh.
And so from that, her mother got the courage. And so when Cordella began crying, speaking about her mom and the love she has for her mom and what her mom has done for her in terms of sacrifices, her mom went to her and said, Cordella, you remember you told me to be strong?
Oh.
Now it's your turn to be
You're
strong.
gonna make me cry.
No, and listen,
so
through this
sweet.
entire interview, I'm there looking at the cameraman like, please don't record me because we cannot catch these tears in my eyes. And the mom stood behind Cordella and comforted her for like a minute or two and then asked her, all right, are you ready now? Are you ready to go back in? And she's like, yes, I'm ready. She wiped those tears and she got back right in there. And that's just a reflection of the type of strength she's had throughout this journey. Days when she didn't feel well, she's been able still to get up and say, hey, I'm going to go through this. What was the tearjerker for me, one of the moments, was when she told us about her deciding to not use the wig anymore.
Yeah.
She was like, you know what? I decided I would no longer be ashamed of what I'm going through.
Yeah.
I'll wear my bald head proudly. And that's how she told us.
Yeah.
She said, I'll wear my bald head proudly. And she shared that experience of going through that and then her hair growing back and how beautiful it was.
Yeah, very, very touching story, of course. The underlying message here is that they are raising funds. She is experiencing some pains that they want to check out again in Merida, and so they need to raise the funds to do so. And what they're doing is hosting a barbecue sale.
Yeah.
So we have the number on the story on our Facebook and our website. So you can be able to call them. It's this Saturday.
It's this Saturday at number 30 Neil Penn Road. It's really not hard to find. It's across from a big orange house. That's how the mother explained it to me. And you can't miss the big orange house and you can't miss their two-story house as well. And so I want to encourage people to find a way to support. If you're not here and you can't buy a barbecue, reach out to the mother, her Delilah Arana, on Facebook and find out how it is you can support and how it is you can help this family. Like Marlene said, the number is on our social media page as well, and you can offer your support there as well.
Absolutely, yeah. And I'm wearing my pink. It's Cancer Awareness Month, and so it's celebrating those who have survived and those who are still fighting, like Cordella and many others. So it was such a touching story, and I do hope that people go on out and the barbecue sold out before they even start. I do hope
that's
so.
what I want. I want to see that she doesn't even have to have a barbecue. I want to hear her call me today and say, hey, we don't need the barbecue. We have all the funds we need. So.
But wishing them the best.
Definitely.
We got to get moving into our show for today, though, and that means we're going to start you off this Friday with some motivation. And that means we'll get into our eye-opener. And our eye-opener, taken from dailyom.com, goes like this. Nearly all creative possibilities are related to the muses that inspire us. Inspiration is an intangible yet inseparable part of the creative process. Nearly all creative possibilities are related to the muses that inspire us. We still rely on muses to drive the creative process. The oars may take a diverse range of forms. People will meet intriguing ideas, movies, books, nature, and cultural ideals all have the potential to awaken our imaginative minds. When we're touched by our muses, we understand viscerally that we are capable of producing our own unique kind of greatness. Once you've identified your muse, embrace it by giving yourself over to the creative inspiration it provides. No matter what you are moved to create, you will find that neither fear nor criticism can penetrate the wonderful bliss that goes hand in hand with the act of taking an idea and turning it into something the whole world can enjoy.
So what's your muse? And for me, waking up every morning and realizing that there are stories out there worth telling. There are stories out there that the world needs to hear, whether it's politics or softer stories. That's where I get some of my inspiration from to get up and go.
Yeah. No, I love, I mean, I don't know if I have one particular muse. I think it's more sometimes a drive or a passion for one being able to tell stories or being able to share information. It was interesting. I was reflecting this week on the difference with the days when I don't host the show versus when I do host the show. And conversations, and especially conversations about ideas or conversations about information with deeper thought, they really do inspire. There's so many times I've walked away from the show reflecting on just one little nugget of information that someone shared, and it stays with you. And it could be personal experience. I love seeing, hearing, understanding people's journeys, whether it's in business or whether it's in their health issues or even with becoming, entrepreneurs or pursuing what they're passionate about. So I love that. And I think that the idea of just knowing that possibilities exist, even when you don't see them, but you have to keep yourself surrounded with the type of people that are gonna keep you inspired. And that's for me, when I think of muses, I think that's the key part. Because if you're just around people who are gonna tell you you can't or you shouldn't, then
You won't.
there's nothing good that's gonna come from that. And that's something I live by. It's what you keep around you that's gonna keep you going.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. All right, so hopefully that has inspired some creativity for you this morning. But now we're going to find out about our weather. And we have Derek Redun on the line. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you
Good
today?
morning.
I'm doing good, thank you.
All right, Derek, drum roll. Everyone wants to know. It's dry right now in Belize City. Will it stay that way?
I don't think so.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to rain today. We are expecting cloudy skies with sunny breaks today, along with some showers or thunderstorms over most areas.
Okay.
But especially over coastal and northern areas in the morning, and then especially inland in the afternoon.
Okay. And for the entire country today, will they be seeing the same amount of showers, or is mostly along the coast?
Mostly along the coast this morning, and then shifting to inland in the afternoon. And then again tonight it will come back over the coast.
How much rainfall are we seeing?
Last night Belize City got 22 from 6 p.m. yesterday evening till 6 a.m. this morning. Belize City only got 22 millimeters. I say only because the other day they got about 4 inches.
Yeah, it was like about 3 to 4 inches, yeah.
Right. And here at the airport we had more than 3 though.
Last night?
That's right.
Wow. Oh, wow. Okay. And it's going to be that much rainfall as we move into the weekend?
Yes, in that range, like an inch or so we're expecting today.
All right, so what does that mean for our advisories?
Well, we have a flood watch in effect for low-lying and flood-prone areas. So we had a warning yesterday, and we took it down to a watch today, just for the possibility, again, of flooding. And there is a small craft caution for possible gusty winds and locally rough seas near thunderstorms.
All right, and what about those winds?
Winds easterly at 5 to 15 knots and seas light chop.
All right. And how will this affect our temperatures?
Okay, because we're expecting showers to decrease somewhat this afternoon, we are going for highs of 87 along the coast, 91 inland and 76 up in the mountains.
And for tonight?
Tonight, 76 along the coast, 72 inland, 66 in the mountain pine ridge.
Well, it should be raining, so you can't go outside and feel it anyway. All right. And break down what the weekend looks like.
Okay, for Saturday, again, we're expecting a slight decrease over today, but definitely not dry or not fair. And so we're going for cloudy spells with a few showers and thunderstorms, mainly over the coast Saturday morning, and then mostly over the south for Saturday night.
Mm-hmm. And looking out into the tropics, anything we need to be monitoring?
At this time, no, there is nothing of concern in the North Atlantic or the Caribbean Sea and the Gulf of Mexico. Nothing expected over the next 48 hours.
All right. Well, I'll take the rain and that nothing to monitor in the tropics.
That's a better option.
Yes, that's I take option A. Derek, we appreciate that update today. Do have a great day and weekend.
Okay, you too, and you're welcome.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
So, yeah, I said
have
it was
it.
not raining. It was only not raining when I got here. It is raining outside.
It probably is raining as we speak.
I had like a, yeah, that's
Oh,
what
it
happened.
is.
I'm like, no, it's pouring. So it is raining outside.
Yeah.
There you go, locked up in
well,
the studio. But yeah, and more rains ahead for the rest of the day.
You know, I enjoy the rains.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy it. We hear people say when it rains, oh, it's going to be a bad day. For me, when I see the rains, I say it's going to be a good day.
Oh, nice.
I you know when they say save some for rainy days,
Okay.
I say save some for sunny days.
Clearly, you don't
Yeah.
like being outdoors when it's hot. No,
Yeah.
I love rainy days, especially on the weekends,
Yeah.
because you don't have to move around. But yeah, we do want to, of course, remind everyone that there is a flood watch in
Right.
effect, and we are
Definitely.
expecting substantial amount of showers as we head into the weekend. If you do live in a flood-prone area, please do monitor it closely, and ensure that you and your family are safe, and we'll provide more updates on the flood forecast in our newscast tonight. So,
Perfect.
yeah. But we got to get moving into our show.
Yeah. Well, after we come back from our first break, we have the CCJ Academy with a CCJ Academy of Law. And they've published a new book called Pioneering Caribbean Women Jurists. And we will be hearing from them all about that book and what it means for Caribbean women jurists.
All right. The second part of our show, as I said, we get to feature all these really cool entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
So there is this Eco Wraps Belize. Basically, it's reusable wraps that are environmentally friendly, created
Interesting.
in Belize. Really cool to look at, and we're going to be showing it to you. And the creator is going to be telling us all about it and where you can get it. So that's coming up in the second part of our show.
And if you're already getting into the Halloween spirit, we will be having Tanisha, who will be showing us some quick hacks
Yeah.
on how to create the perfect Halloween look. What will
For you.
What
I'm
will
just
you
thinking,
be
you
for
look-
Halloween this year,
You see how-
Marlene?
I hope viewers realize how quickly he's trying to deflect it over. I already have all makeup. Not as good as hers, but
I have on my mask already.
okay. But yeah, we got that fun stuff coming up in the end of the show to close you off and end your Friday off right. But we got to take a break. And before we do, we got a birthday shout out. And we are saying happy birthday to
Maritza Leslie. Happy birthday, Maritza, and we pray that you do have a wonderful day from all of us here at Open Your Eyes and Channel 5.
And with that, we'll take that break. When we come back, we'll be talking about the new book, Pioneering Caribbean Women Jurists. That's coming up in a few. Stay tuned.
Hey son, how was your first day at sixth form?
Really, really cool. It was great to see my friends, and I really love my teachers.
I'm so happy to hear that. I'm sorry I wasn't there for your first day, but I'll be back from Corozal next week.
It's okay, Dad. I can't wait to see you. Oh, and please remember, I still have some books I need to purchase.
Ah, yes. Let me e-cash you that right now. Money has been sent. I add a little extra cash just for you.
Whoa, Dad. Thanks. Got it.
You're welcome, sir.
Download the eCash app today and take your first step into a cashless lifestyle. For more information, visit www.e-cash.com or contact us via WhatsApp at 613-0257. eCash, the future is here.
It's a fact that your credit lasts longer when using Smart. During these times, we're all trying to find ways to cut costs and save the little resources we have. With Smart, it's easy to do that. It's a fact that with Smart, your credit lasts longer. You can call Smart to Smart and Smart to Digi using your promo credit, while with the other guy, you can only call on-net, Digi, or BTL numbers. What does this mean? You get to call any national number using your promo credit. Your promo credit is free, so that call is also free. Know your facts. Don't be tricked by the other guy. Be smart and save your dollars.
If you have a baby on the way, here is what you need to know about maternity benefit. It includes both an allowance for 14 weeks and a grant, which is a lump sum of $300. The basic requirements are: you must be employed, you must have at least 50 paid contributions, and you must have continuous contributions leading up to delivery. To apply, a licensed doctor certifies the expected date of delivery. The employer completes the salaries record. Submit your completed claim form as soon as possible. After giving birth, submit your continuation claim no later than 3 weeks after delivery. If the mother does not qualify, the father of the child may qualify for the maternity grant. Want to know more about maternity benefit or grant? Visit our website or contact any of our offices to have someone assist you. Also, be sure to visit our Facebook page and give us a like to stay informed. Social Security Board, safeguarding you, your family, your future.
YAIS is the Sustainable Financing Initiative of YASCHE. YAIS provides ecotour, transportation, and accommodation services through Ecotourism Belize and sells organic seedlings from YASCHE's nursery. YAIS offers educational experiences to study abroad groups and provides local entrepreneurs with business opportunities. YAIS prides itself to support sustainable livelihoods and reinvests all profits in its conservation efforts.
We're back and we're moving into our first conversation for this morning, where we're focusing on the Caribbean region and a new publication that has come out from the Caribbean Court of Justice Academy of Law. And the book is called Pioneering Caribbean Women Jurists. We're joined at this time by Judge and Chair of the CCJ Academy for Law and the co-editor of the publication, the Honorable Mr. Justice Winston Anderson. Good morning.
Good morning, Malini. Good morning, Paul. It's good to be with you.
Good morning.
All right, lovely to have you as well. We know you have a very busy schedule, but this is such a important milestone that has been documented, and we'd love to hear more about the stories that have been compiled. But before we do, let's step back and talk about the CCJ Academy of Law and the objectives that they have.
Yes, well, the CCJ Academy for Law is the educational arm of the Caribbean Court of Justice.
Yes.
And by this we mean that while the court has the responsibility for developing the law through the judicial process, through making decisions, making orders, and so on, the Academy has responsibility for developing the law through non-judicial means, that is to say, educational outreach activities. So we have conferences, we have seminars, workshops, we have all kinds of engagements in which we try to get members of the legal profession together to consider important areas of the law, consider improvements in the law, and consider how we can best work together to make living in the Caribbean, a better experience. So that is really the function of the Academy, and I'm very, very happy to lead it.
I think that's so important. How often do you guys hold these meetings, these seminars, and these think groups?
As often as possible. Yes, we do have a regular biannual conference. So every 2 years there is a major conference, and this is held throughout the region, different countries. We have not yet been to Belize, but we hope, of course, in due course, to be in Belize. We also have short conferences, webinars, especially now, of course, during the pandemic, when we can't meet as we would like, as freely as we would like physically. We have a number of webinars that we put on. So you mentioned the busyness of my schedule. Yesterday, I was heavily involved with a webinar on WIPO, intellectual property rights in the region, geographical indications and trademarks and so on. We collaborate with the World Health Organization in relation to the pandemic and how we can make sure that our citizens are protected as best we can from the scourge of non-communicable diseases. So there's just a whole range of international organizations, regional organizations that we collaborate with a view to making sure that the law protects us as best it can.
Yeah. So the project, we see that the main focus of the project, Pioneering Caribbean Women Jurists, is focused on women. Why focus on women for this year's project?
Yes, well, I'm sure you'd agree, Paul, and I'm pretty sure that Melanie would agree as well, that women play a very important role in our society. And that role is very largely unsung, unrecognized, so that women have been the backbone of our Caribbean societies for a very, very long time. Many times, the women provide not just, material support, but they are also very often people of faith. And they have held our families together through thick and thin, through trials and tribulations, so to speak. Now, we are not competent to go into all of those areas, but what we are competent to do at the Academy is to look at the contribution that women have made to the legal infrastructure of our region. And we thought it was therefore fitting that on this occasion, we would look at the tremendous contribution that women have made to various aspects of our legal arrangements. So we look, for example, at the contributions that they have made as head of state, as head of government, as judges, as teachers, legal activists, as diplomats. And we were just amazed to realize that the contribution is really nothing short of spectacular.
Yeah. So 34 women were identified, but let's put this into perspective. As Caribbean brothers and sisters, we know that the evolving role of women in our culture has been one that many have witnessed within their lifetime. Even within the court systems, there have been changes to be able to ensure equality within the courts, from not telling women what to wear. And these are very critical areas of development that shows progress. Tell me about it from your point of view, with your experience in the legal system.
Yes, no, you're absolutely right. I think the evolution of women's rights and rights of other minorities as well, where women are not really a minority, but the right of minorities has been something that has been very, very clear and strong over the years. In relation to the law and the legal profession, women were for a long time excluded. I think it was in 1919 or thereabouts that women were allowed even to become lawyers. So the very first lawyer in the Caribbean, a woman in Guyana, became a lawyer in 1929, I think it was. So but before that, it was completely dominated by men, and women couldn't get into the profession. Since then, there has been a very steep elevation of the presence and the visibility and the status of women in the legal profession. So now, if you look around our jurisdictions, you'll be pleased to hear that in many cases, the women are in fact leading in many aspects of our legal life. So that in the judiciary, for example, the case of Guyana once more, the women who head the judiciary, both as Chief Justice and as Chancellor, are in fact very strong women in their own rights. And before them, we had Desiree Bernard, who is a very well-known regional figure, who also led the judiciary in Guyana and was the very first woman judge on the Caribbean Court of Justice. But we have women who have led and are leading in almost every jurisdiction that you can mention in the region, and of course in Belize, the Chief Justice, of course, is Judge Arana. So we have women now in every conceivable position in the legal system, and I think we're all the better for it.
Yeah. I'm so glad, we were waiting for the mention of Belize, or Chief Magistrate, Chief Justice, and or Attorney General, all women at this time.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. And the Attorney General, I must say, appeared, many times before the Caribbean Court of Justice, and we are all, as judges, very impressed, of course, with her and with her submissions. She was heavily involved in a seminal case that we did, the Maya Alliance case. And of course, we were all very pleased that she was appointed as the Attorney General.
Yes. And when you look at the impact of, I think you've mentioned before, just in having the inclusion of minorities. When you look at the justice system, it's even more important that you have representation. Can you address that from that perspective, having the representation of women within the judiciary, especially at the highest level?
Yes, but it's obviously very, very important. And we have undertaken in many international agreements to honor the rights, recognize and honor the rights of minorities. I think, the critical point is that in these relatively small societies, we have no margin for error. We don't have the luxury of, having some of our best players on the sidelines, so to speak. It's really all hands on deck. And I don't think it is sensible to omit any kind of segment of our society that can contribute in a meaningful way to societal development. And certainly women and other minorities can and do make a tremendous contribution. Yes, I was going to say, of course, that we did mention one of the very outstanding women in Belize in the form and the person of the Chief Justice and also of the Attorney General. Neither of them, unfortunately, perhaps, features in the book, but there is another Belizean who does feature in the book, and I don't know whether you wish us to go in that direction.
Yes,
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
Yes, well, we are very, very honored to have been able to include Her Excellency, the Ambassador Lois Young, in the book as a pioneering Caribbean woman jurist. I believe she's very well known.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
In Belize, of course, being the representative and ambassador of Belize to the United Nations. But the book is a compilation of the biographies of all 34 women that we have honored. And her biography, Her Excellency's biography, was written by her brother, I think her younger brother, Harold, Dr. Harold Young. And he wrote a beautiful essay about his big sister, shall we say, and tells the story of, of their early life in Belize City, I think they went with their father to Sierra Leone for a while when he was in broadcasting. Returned, she went to high school, of course, in Belize City. I think it was Wesley College and St. John's College. And then in the 1960s, late 1960s, she won the Belize Open Scholarship. She was the first woman to win the scholarship, the essay recalls. And she then was free to go to any university based on the scholarship in the world that she wished. She was thinking of teaching, but her father apparently suggested and insisted on the law. So she went to London University, studied law, and of course returned to Belize. She had a spectacular career in the law, practicing initially in the public sector, in the public bar, but then over 30 years in the private bar, made a remarkable contribution there. Entered politics for a little while, I gather, but did not suit her, and she did not suit the politics either, apparently. So she then went off, appointed, of course, the ambassador representative of Belize to the United Nations, where she made an outstanding contribution. And we're very, very proud of her, and we're proud to claim her as one of our pioneering women jurists.
What is the hope that you have for readers when they read this book? What is it, the takeaway that you want them to have?
One word, Paul: inspiration. We want them to be inspired. And I was observing the opening of your show, and I really enjoyed it. In this day and age in which we live, we are surrounded by so many challenges, negative forces, and so on. We need positive influences, I think, in our lives. And we are hopeful, and by we mean all of the persons who collaborated on this project. And I include here particularly my co-editor, Madam Justice Maureen Rajnath Lee of the CCJ, and of course the president, of course, of the court, Honorable Justice Adrian Saunders. We're really hoping that this book will be read by a wide audience, young girls, of course, but also young men, and that they will see the stories of these women and the challenges that they faced, and the fact that they overcame these challenges to make a lasting contribution, so that they themselves could also be similarly motivated, similarly challenged to make their own indelible contribution to the Caribbean.
Now, let's talk a bit about making the selection of the 34 women who are included in the book.
Not easy.
I can't imagine, yeah.
Because we Justice Rajnath Lee and I formed an advisory committee, and also a selection committee. The selection committee consisted of 12 persons, eminent persons from around the region, drawn from various disciplines. Law, of course, but also history, politics, gender, economics, and so on. And we elicited nominations from around the region. So that we had, I think, 83, certainly over 80 nominations. And the job of the selection committee was to whittle down the over 80 nominations to a number, a relatively small number. We were thinking of about 12 or 15. So we began that process, made over several months last year. But when we got to 34, Melanie, we could not go any further because it was so difficult, first of all, to get to 34. We had to leave out so many others. Virtually 50 had to be left out. But when we got to that number, we couldn't go any lower because the significance and the strength of the contributions were such that we could not leave out anybody else. And I have to say that in the 50 or so that we left off, we could identify giants in our development. And it seems to me that we really will have to find an opportunity to honor the contribution of these other women who unfortunately did not make the final cut.
Yeah. And, you know, it's talking about pioneering, and it's within the legal system. You're talking about policies, you're talking about movers and shakers in this region. Let's talk about some of the stories that you can recall and share with us.
Yes, well, they are very, very varied,
Yeah.
And as I said, we have stories about persons who have made it to the pinnacle of our legal system. So we have a head of state, for example, in the person of Her Excellency Paula May Weeks of Trinidad and Tobago. She's a sitting head of state. And of course, she came from a background steeped primarily in the judiciary. She was a judge, also a justice of appeal, and she went from there on to the presidency. We have also another head of state in the person of Dame Sandra Mason of Barbados, who is now the Governor General of Barbados, but who is soon to be the President of the Republic of Barbados. That decision having been taken to move Barbados into the Republican status. We have heads of government. Mia Motley comes to mind. Mia Motley, of course, the extraordinary and dynamic leader of the government of Barbados. We honor people who have passed as well. So we honor Eugenia Charles, who may be familiar again to some members of your audience. Eugenia Charles served for 15 years as the Prime Minister of Dominica. We have honorees in the area of persons who occupied high national office. Persons like Billy Miller out of Barbados. Judges, I've mentioned a few already. Desiree Bernard of Guyana. Zayla McCullough of Jamaica. Dame Janice Pereira of the OECS. We have persons that we honor in relation to their contribution to international organizations.
Yeah.
And that is where, of course, Her Excellency Lois Young was honored. We also have Ambassador Manorma Suknandan from Suriname. Teachers of the law, people like Norma Ford out of Barbados. Professor Rosemary Bell Antoine out of Trinidad and Tobago. And the list goes on and on and on. So it's a very varied collection of women, and I think
and varying
that reading the book
contributions.
absolutely would be rewarding. Yes.
So let me ask you. Very often, we see people where they are today, and we don't always get the privilege of learning their story or the journey that it took to get there. And so as you put together these biographies and you're doing the editing of, I mean, you looked at over 80, but you finalized the book with 34. Is
Yes.
there a commonality that you identified in these women?
That's a great question. And it is difficult because the women are as varied as you could imagine. Some came from privileged backgrounds, but many came from very, very humble backgrounds. Some had to struggle tremendously. So their life stories are very, very varied. I think that the common thread that runs throughout the book is a determination that they all had to make the best they could of the talents that God had given them. And they did this with a singularity of purpose. So they may not have conceptualized it, not all of them in this way, but I do believe that the common thread was a desire, an attempt, a resolution to make a contribution to their society. They may have thought of it in different ways, but I do think that is the common theme running throughout, that we have to make do with the resources that we have and make the best contribution that we can to our families, to our community, and to our society.
And would you say from the biographies that you in the book that these women were determined to be pioneers or simply became pioneers because of their determination?
Another great question. No, I don't think, well, in some cases, there may have been the thought that, look, I am the first or among the first to be doing this. But I think in the vast majority of the cases, it wasn't really a thought articulated in that way. I think, as I said, it was simply a matter of, I have to be the best that I can be. I have to make the greatest use of the talents that I have. And sometimes, of course, The push, if you will, sometimes came from behind. To some extent, I think some of the push for Her Excellency here in Belize came from her family, her father in particular, who sort of championed the cause of the law. But in every case, I think the driving force wasn't so much to be identified as a pioneer. That came as a byproduct of what they did. I think that the driving push was to excel to the greatest extent that they could.
Now, as we look at the contributions of women, how do you see their involvement progressing in these leadership positions over the next decade or so?
Well, Paul, if we're not very careful, you and I will not have any positions of leadership over the next 50 years or so. But seriously, I think already women are occupying every conceivable position that you can think of. And I think that will continue to be the case. If you look at the output of the universities that we have in the region, you will see that women are the dominant graduates in almost every faculty. So in the faculty of law, we're talking about upwards of 70% of the graduates being women. Now, the force of those numbers may take a while to percolate up to the top positions. But already I've pointed out that women are occupying virtually all of the top positions, or they have occupied virtually all of the top positions in several of our key areas of national life: judiciary, head of state, head of government, and so on. So that I think that at some point, and I'm not sure whether Melanie agrees with us, Paul, but at some point perhaps the attention might have to, turn in another direction. And we may have to begin to have a serious conversation about where our men, particularly our young men, are falling down. And if you go to the prisons, as I do, occasionally, just to check on what's happening there, again, the population is predominantly one way. And I think at some point we're really going to have to think about how we sort of bring our young men particularly, back from the kinds of activities that many of them are engaged in. But certainly I think women are on the right trajectory. There may be some areas which are still in need of attention to make sure that there's complete equality for women. But I think generally speaking, our women in the region are on the right path to equality, really, with the other members of our society.
Well, Honorable Justice, we will invite you back to have that conversation deeper about young men in this era, because that is really interesting, and I'd love to hear it from a regional perspective. But, as you say, women are starting to essentially take their place. It is because we do have pioneers who do so. You mentioned earlier that the book is going to be published. When you look at the idea of people we call heroes, we usually look outside of our country and we look outside of our region. Is that the hope with projects like this, that we will start to see within our own selves the potential that we have and the change that we are creating?
Absolutely. And I will say, first of all, that the book is published now. I think initially when the CCJ Academy got in touch with you, it was not yet published, but it's now published and it is available. We are hoping to make it available in public libraries, throughout the region. And also the book can be acquired from the CCJ Academy for Law. I should also mention that the book is going to be accompanied by a series of videos which will look at the life story of these women through their own eyes, in their own words. And of course, you'll be able to hear from the ambassador from Belize about her own story, her own life experience. But to return to your point about heroes, I agree again with you. I think very often we tend to look outside for our heroes, and that has a stultifying effect, in my view, on our psychological development, as I think you're hinting. And it is very, very important, therefore, that we identify our heroes and try to emulate the examples that they have set for us. So that was clearly one of the objectives that we had in this project, and I do think it was executed so very well. And I have to pay tribute to the many persons who collaborated so freely in the writing of the biographies. I mentioned Dr. Harry Young, yes. Of course, from Belize. But in every case, we had to find somebody who would be responsible for writing the biography. And very often we found a relative, a sibling. Sometimes we found a niece. A husband wrote about his wife. Dr. Kenny Anthony, Prime Minister of St. Lucia, former Prime Minister, wrote about Professor Antoine. So it was a very interesting dynamic, because, of course, being the husband, you have to be careful.
I was going to say, that was, this could have been the initiation of some family wars or some real bargaining. Don't talk about this and I won't say that.
Very tricky assignment.
Yes.
But it brought a new dynamic, obviously, to bear. And sometimes you could feel the respect and the awe. It was a catharsis in many ways, because it's not very often that a close family member has the opportunity to express the appreciation and the love and the respect and admiration that they felt. So we are very, very grateful to all of the contributors for really making this, to my mind, a very outstanding publication.
That's a wonderful idea, though, because our family sees us through different eyes.
Absolutely.
and you're not a judge in the CCJ in your home. Your daddy, your brother, your uncle, and that has no weight, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yes.
So that's fascinating. And as you said, the book can be published. Is it accessible for all readers? Is it, something that we can get high schoolers to be able to enjoy as well?
Another great question. Yes, absolutely. That was one of the intentions, and we made it very clear to the biographers that they had to write for the widest and the youngest possible audience, because we wanted to make it accessible. It's not a legal treatise that you have to have a law degree to read. The intention was to make it a staple in our high schools, for example, so that the younger generation coming up could see what had gone on before. And I really do think, by and large, it has achieved that objective. There are one or two essays which are written as sort of, academic format with some footnotes. But I would say that, generally speaking, they are very, very accessible, and I think your readers, your viewers, will enjoy reading the book.
Perfect.
Well, we thank you for coming on the show this morning, taking the time out to tell us all about it. How would you sum up the experience of co-editing it?
It was a wonderfully exhilarating experience, and when Justice Raj Motley and I started out, we never dreamt that we would get into such rewarding and pleasurable work, because we learned so much about all of the honorees, and I think we were particularly inspired by those who had to struggle against great odds to get to where they eventually ended up. So we found ourselves in awe to some extent, and very, very proud of our fellow Caribbean citizens who happen to be pioneering Caribbean women jurists.
Lovely way to close. I'm looking forward to reading it.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, and so that does it for that segment. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we have with us Eco Wraps. We'll hear about a Belize business that is offering eco-friendly and sustainable alternatives to plastic wraps. So you don't want to miss that. Stay tuned.
We have been a partner with Smart for over 10 plus years. We have a full Smart plan we use as our major driver for our business. We have a service that rolls over in that if you call one and it is busy, it rolls over to the next line. So once you call us, you can get us at any time. Before we got this Smart service, we were paying upwards of nearly $2,000 in phone bills. Since we've had our Smart service, we pay an average about $600. So we've had tremendous saving, more than 50%. For the businesses, if you want to save money, switch to Smart because it is far more cost effective and the service is excellent.
Smart continues to be innovative in bringing new technology and meaningful savings during these challenging times to businesses across Belize. Sign up for our VoIP technology or broadband packages and save more.
Imagine going through your entire day without the burden and risk of carrying cash on you. Belize's shift to digital wallets has begun with eCash. We can now skip the cash when collecting money or paying for our essentials, all while using a fast, easy, and secure platform. Simply add funds to your wallet via bank transfer or at an agent, and you're good to go. You will be able to make quick, easy payments simply by scanning QR codes. And best of all, it all happens just like that. Payments are as easy as clicking a link online or scanning a QR code. Download the eCash app from the Google Play and Apple App Store today and take your first step into a cashless lifestyle. The future is here with eCash. For more information, visit www.e-cash.com or contact us via WhatsApp at 613-0257 to find out more.
To decrease your risk of being bitten by infected mosquitoes, use proven personal protective methods too. Apply an effective mosquito repellent to exposed areas of skin according to manufacturer's instructions. Wear light-colored long pants and shirts while outdoors in the early morning and late afternoons. Further, protect vulnerable family members like pregnant women, children, the elderly, and persons who are unwell by using mosquito nets to sleep or rest, even during the day. Fight the bite and protect yourself and your family too from mosquito-borne diseases.
All right, and we're back. As we said before a break, we have with us Andrea Castaneda. She's the owner of Eco Wraps BZ. Good morning, Andrea.
Good morning.
Welcome to the show. So let's start by telling us what is Eco Wraps BZ.
So Eco-Wraps BZ are, well, we make beeswax wraps, and beeswax wraps are made from beeswax and a bunch of other natural ingredients, and they make a alternative to plastic wrap, a sustainable and eco-friendly alternative because it's something that you can reuse, you can wash it, and then at the end of life, unlike plastic, which takes millions of years to degrade, beeswax wraps are compostable. So zero waste.
So
no, I was just going to say, Andrea, where did this idea come from to start this business?
Well, I've always been in mind with being more eco-friendly in everything that I do, and so I'm always online looking at sustainable alternatives for things that we commonly use at home. And I came across this idea of beeswax wrap, and I realized I've never heard about that in Belize, and it's something that's so easy to make, and it uses an ingredient, beeswax, that we have here in Belize, and that would be a part of a larger, the bee industry here in Belize isn't that big, and so this is just one more product that we could be using from it, other than just the honey.
So in all the things I've thought about, in all the plastics I've used, I have never thought about my use of what we call cling wrap or saran wrap.
Right.
And that's essentially the alternative that you've created here.
Oh, wow.
So it's not just that it's an alternative, it's also really attractive. I don't mind that hanging out in my fridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have it available in a lot of different colors and patterns. Like the dark one that's on screen right now.
Yeah.
And they're also available in different sizes, so it's not a one size fits all. We have it in small, medium, and large, so whatever you need, it's available. So the small one we would use for wrapping like small vegetables that you have left over. The medium ones are good for small bowls, and then the large ones are better for bigger produce like lettuce or cabbage.
Tell us about the process of learning to make it.
Well, the process is fairly simple. You combine your ingredients, which are beeswax, pine tree resin, jojoba oil, and you melt them. And once you have it melted, you're able to brush it on to the cloth, which we use organic cotton to make sure that it's as sustainable as possible. And we just brush it on to a heated cloth, and once it melts, it then settles, and then we let it to dry, and it hardens, and it becomes this product that is malleable.
So basically, it's a wrap that's reusable. Is it? Is that what we're talking about? So it's reusable. Where do you source your beeswax from?
So I get it from a local beekeeper here in Corozal. I reached out and I asked him if he has beeswax available, and he said yes, and so that's where I get it.
Take me back to what it's like. You know, you said you were always environmentally conscious and trying to find a way to reduce your footprint. And you decided that you'd start to create your own reusable wrap and then make a business out of it. What was the reaction of family and friends when you came up with this idea?
Well, they're all been so supportive. I remember I started with my grandmother because she had never heard of this before. And she would always use plastic wrap, and I'd always be telling her, "Grandma, don't do that. You're not supposed to be using so much." And she does this thing when she bakes, she covers her dough with the plastic wrap, and she says it helps it rise better.
Yes.
And I don't know because I don't do a lot of baking, right? But I was like, "Grandma, how about we not use that much plastic?" And she's like, and then I told her, "You know what? How about I make something for you that will help you not use that much plastic?"
Wow.
And so the first batch that I made of these were my testing trial. I made these really big ones for her so that she could cover her cookie trays with. And ever since I made that for her, that's all she's been using. And every time somebody comes over to the house, she'd be like, "Look what my granddaughter made." And she'd like show her little product.
Andrea, this is a very critical step. Did you get grandmother's approval?
Yes.
All right. Because once that experienced baker says it does the same like plastic, everybody else
that's
can
all
believe
you need. That's your marketing agent right
she
there.
was really skeptical about it. She was like, "I'm not so sure this is gonna work," and I was like, "Yeah, it's gonna work." But yeah.
So talk a bit about the packaging, because you're using an environmentally friendly product. What about the packaging?
Okay, so we use craft paper. Craft paper is the least impactful, and it's just printed black ink only. Let the least amount of ink possible, the least amount of paper possible. We started with these belly bands to just go around the products because it will use the least amount of paper and ink. But then we decided to change it into these packaging that kind of protects the wraps a little bit more, but we still keep in mind that using the least amount of packaging possible so that not to create any excess waste.
Oh, nice.
It's really nice.
So you have 3 different sizes there. We see them on the screen. I have to ask because I am a fan of cling wrap too. I like a good seal around whatever I'm covering. Does it work as well?
Yes. So beeswax has this property that it easily melts. So with the same heat of your hand, when you mold the wrap around the bowl or around the food covering, the heat of your hand kind of melts the wax and it helps it create this nice seal. If you would take a glass of water and you cover one of the wraps and then you tip the glass over, the water wouldn't spill. That's how adhesive it is.
Oh, wow.
That's
Now,
really nice.
okay, so if I use it to wrap up, let's say, an onion, how do I use it on a piece of cake after that?
Okay, well, see, onions have a very peculiar thing because onions, they leave their smell on a lot of products. So I would advise if you're wrapping an onion, specifically onions, to just set one aside for the onion.
Yeah.
So you have vegetable ones. That's the onion one, right?
Yeah.
That we see on
Yeah.
screen? Okay.
Yeah.
So you have some for vegetables, and you have, I think, 3 different sizes that you saw there. What have you found people using it for?
Well, the smallest size, which is 8x7, usually use it for vegetable halves or wrapping any little produce that you cut and then you have leftover. Instead of just popping it in the fridge, you wrap it in it. The medium one, we use it a lot for avocados and it helps keep that fresh, or small bowls that don't have a lid. Cover that, put it in the fridge, leave it out, it's fine. And then the bigger ones are used, this is a big one, and it's used to cover larger avocados. And anything that is just large enough, like we currently have it right now, we have the cheese wrapped in it, and you could also use it for produce like lettuce and cabbage.
Andrea, are you in school? And I asked that because my follow-up question would be, where do you find the time to run and market this little business of yours?
Yes, I am in school, Monday through Friday, 8 till 4, sometimes even over at night.
Okay.
But I find the time whenever possible, any free time that I have, I do some quick marketing photos, edit them, schedule the post, and I usually make them in large batches. So if I know I'm free on a weekend, I usually make a really large batch and then just work with it.
And you're a one-woman operation at this time, correct?
At this time, yes.
So talk us through, there's something else I wanted to ask. You said it's reusable. How many uses can you get from it? And how do you wash it and clean it to use it again?
Okay, so the amount of uses depends entirely on how you use it. So if you're using it properly, it can last you for about a year. But if you use it regularly, well, it's going to last you less than that. The washing is very simple. You take a little bit of soap, not a lot, and pour some water on the wrap, and you gently rub the soap into it just to remove any of the surface residues. And then you rinse it, and then you hang it to dry.
And it doesn't affect the product washing?
Is that grandma's dough rising there?
Yeah, that is grandma's dough.
This is a very interesting product. I'd love to have some to take to some of the bakers I know to test the product.
Yeah. So what's been the response since you started selling online? How long have you been selling it online? And tell us just what's been the response from people.
I've been selling it online for a little under a year. It's been really hard to market it because it's a product that not a lot of people know about, and it's a product that if you don't know about it, you're not gonna try to get it because it's something so new to us. We're always so used to like cling film, and you just go to the store and you get it. You would never think of getting a product. like this.
Yeah, and a lot of people are trying to be more environmentally conscious. It's a savings in the end. What's the cost of it for the different sizes?
Well, we sell it in 3 packs right now. The variety pack includes one of each size, and we sell that for $30. And then we have a size sandwich pack that includes the 2 medium sizes, and that goes for $20. And then the smallest pack that we sell has 3 of the smallest sizes, and that sells for $15.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so I know when people think of that, they'll say, oh, that's kind of expensive. But the idea is that you reuse it. So you don't have to buy another pack of cling wrap again.
Yeah. So and then it becomes a little bit cost effective in the long run. Initially, not really, but in the long run, yeah.
Yeah, and I could imagine your production cost is not that cheap as well.
Yeah. The products are really expensive, especially since I've been trying to source organic products. Those aren't cheap.
Yeah.
But I try to keep my selling point at a reasonable price because I know that something like this, it could be really expensive if I market it up more, but for it to be more cost effective, I decided to sell it at the price that I'm selling it.
Okay. So Andrea, you're so young, you're still a student. Is this what you had planned or set out to do to make environmentally friendly products?
No. It's something that happened over the pandemic, actually. I had relatively more free time than I would usually have.
Yeah.
And so I decided, you know what, let's take this bit of extra time to see if I can make something. But I've quickly become fond of the idea of offering sustainable alternatives to Belizeans, made by Belizeans. I think that's something that we need in our country right now, especially with the climate.
And do you do custom orders? If somebody tells you the type of design that they want, can you be able to do that? Like if I, pick something that matches my kitchen. Oh no, I think we lost her. Oh, we
That's
had a break in
unfortunate.
transmission. Yeah.
Well,
I guess we're gonna have to
get some of the wraps and
message her.
maybe bring
Well, I'm
it
definitely
on the
gonna
show.
get them. I think they're
Yeah.
pretty too.
They are.
Just-
They are.
You could put that in your fridge and it doesn't look like.
I'm not in the kitchen as much, but whenever I do decide to, there are times when I need to wrap stuff up. I'll be honest, I'm guilty of just throwing stuff in the fridge at times, and I'm told, oh, you can't do that because you might something, and I don't understand the explanation, to be honest. So to have something like this reusable and useful, I definitely get one.
Yeah, I'm just leaving you hang yourself, as you talk about how you don't cook and you're putting stuff in.
Can we end this segment?
in the refrigerator? You mean like cut vegetables not covered in or
Did I
plastic?
say? Did I say something?
You said you just put stuff in.
What?
Yeah. Okay. Well, you can get the Eco Wraps BC. Your mom's watching. She's gonna be so disappointed in you. But I do love, Andrea's story is something that we really wanted to share. One, because it's an innovative idea for us.
Yeah.
Two, it's a young entrepreneur, once again, started during the pandemic, who is also trying to help people to be, I think her saying was just a little bit greener.
Yeah.
And it starts with little steps.
I think
and
we
she's
have
back.
her
We
back.
got her.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, the weather here has been awful. Cuts off the internet a lot.
That's okay.
Well, my question was, do you do custom orders? So can people pick out what color scheme they want for their wrap, or if they have a specific cloth that they would want to get converted to an eco wrap?
Well, right now we have set colors. We have 6 different colors, and our packs, the way we sell it is that each pack is the same color. So the different sizes in the same color. But if somebody would be interested in a custom order, just to contact me and I'll see if I can make it work.
That's so cool. All
Because you paint them, are they painted? How do you get the designs?
It's printed cotton fabric. I
Okay.
order it in the different patterns.
Okay, good, good, interesting.
All right, Andrea. So, are you surprised a year later here you are talking about eco wraps to all of Belize?
Yeah, I am.
Well, we found it. We thought it was pretty cool, so we wanted to share that with our viewers. And if they are thinking, especially of that gift time that's coming up for their environmentally conscious friend, this is a fantastic gift to give from a young Belizean entrepreneur.
Yeah.
What do you say to other young people about just getting out there and starting their business or going after that idea that they have?
Go for it. If you can, go for it. And if you can't, figure out a way how to. I think, especially with our young population, we have so much potential, so many ideas, and you have to try. If you don't try, you're never gonna know if you can do it or not.
Yeah. I definitely see something like this on the shelves in the major supermarkets across the country, and so I do hope for you that is something that come to pass, because more Belizeans should definitely have access to this as an option. So
yeah. And who has been helping you? Is there somebody behind the scenes there that's helping you?
Yeah, my parents helped me a lot
Sure.
with the little details, just to help me manage my mom and my dad.
Yeah, I'm sure. And I'm sure they're very proud this morning to see you telling us your story. I understand we have a giveaway coming up too.
Oh, wow.
So one of our viewers can walk away with, what are they getting, Andrea? Tell us.
They are going to get a variety pack in the color of their choosing.
Do I qualify for this?
Okay, no, Paul, you are not allowed to participate. So, Andrea, you have to leave us with a question, and when we come back from the break, we'll be able to tell people who won. Wait, let me remind people how we do this first while you come up with the question. So do remember that our giveaways work by the first person to comment in the live stream with the correct answer. So you got to get to your phone, get to your tablet, get to your computer, log into Facebook, open your eyes, BZ. That's our Facebook page. Find today's live stream, and you're going to comment under the live stream, right? So we're giving you some time to get there, log in, step away from the TV and be able to do that. And now Andrea will tell us that question.
Oh, I can't think of anything. Would you mind giving the question? My mind's blank.
I would love to start with, who was the first person to sample the product and what did they do with it?
That's a great question.
All right. So that's what we're closing off with. Andrea, thank you so much. How do people contact you if they want to purchase one?
Well, you could message me on Facebook at EcoWraps Belize, or you could WhatsApp me at 677-8094.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us and telling us your story. Best of luck, and congratulations on such a cool idea.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So once again, that giveaway it's already started. You got to be the first person to comment the correct answer under our live stream for today on our Facebook page. So you are going to answer the question, who was the first person to sample EcoWraps Belize and what did they use it for? We'll take that break, and hopefully by the time we come back, Paul Lopez, you cannot comment in the stream, but when we come back, we'll tell you who the winner is. So please, and when we come back, we're gonna be doing some spooky Halloween makeup. I was a bit scared just now when I walked into studio. You're gonna see what it looks like when we come back. Tanya Tanisha is here, all with her creativity. We're gonna check out what she has in store in just a few, so stay tuned.
Working off-site doesn't mean you have to be off your game. Studies have shown that simply adding a keyboard and mouse to your laptop increases productivity by 26%. Add a monitor and you'll be 35% more productive. At Fulltech Systems, we have what you need to enhance your remote work or e-learning experience. With devices such as headsets, video conferencing monitors, webcams, keyboards, mice, docking stations, all with the brands you trust. Keep connected with collaboration tools like Microsoft 365 Suite and Kaspersky and perform efficiently no matter where you are. Fulltech Systems, your technology center, where you'll come for the price, but stay for the service.
Is always with you, from live TV, sports, and on-demand titles. Choose your plan today. Plans start as low as $15 per month. My TV, entertainment, anytime, anywhere.
Like other vaccines, the COVID-19 vaccines being developed have been through the same trial phases and rigorous process required for all vaccines. Global efforts on the development of the vaccines are built on existing research from previous coronaviruses like MERS and SARS-1. As COVID-19 vaccines are approved for their broad use in the population, be reassured that they will continue to be monitored to identify any adverse events. Your safety is our top priority. Vaccines bring us closer.
Bringing people together has always been SMART's mission and passion. That is why we are proud to have built a locally independent quality network from the ground up that spans the country with over 100 sites. We continue to add more affordable mobile data packages, broadband speeds, and voice services to meet your personal and business needs. SMART has set the standard of true competition with the most competitive prices on all services offered. We invite and welcome you to join the SMART family, where the value for your dollar matters. SMART will continue bringing new technologies, more affordable prices, network expansions, and people together. SMART, bringing people together.
Hey son, how was your first day at Sixth Form?
Really cool. It was great to see my friends, and I really love my teachers.
I'm so happy to hear that. I'm sorry I wasn't there for your first day, but I'll be back from Corozal next week.
It's okay, Dad. I can't wait to see you. Oh, and please remember, I still have some books I need to purchase.
Ah, yes. Let me e-cash you that right now. Money has been sent. I add a little extra cash just for you.
Whoa, Dad. Thanks. Got it.
You're welcome, sir.
Download the eCash app today and take your first step into a cashless lifestyle. For more information, visit www.e-cash.com or contact us via WhatsApp at 613-0257. eCash, the future is here.
The Mega Progressive Jackpot has been growing, and you can get your hands on over $500,000. You can win $560,636 this Saturday, October 23rd. You don't want to miss it, so go get your tickets and tune in to the next show. It airs live on Channel 5, Radio Bahia, and Love FM at 8 p.m. This is your chance to win big. You can also watch online on Facebook or YouTube. Just search for Belize Mega Bingo. Over $500,000 is waiting for you. Mega Bingo is the game.
If you have a baby on the way, here is what you need to know about maternity benefit. It includes both an allowance for 14 weeks and a grant, which is a lump sum of $300. The basic requirements are: you must be employed, you must have at least 50 paid contributions, and you must have continuous contributions leading up to delivery. To apply, a licensed doctor certifies the expected date of delivery. The employer completes the salaries record. Submit your completed claim form as soon as possible. After giving birth, submit your continuation claim no later than 3 weeks after delivery. If the mother does not qualify, the father of the child may qualify for the maternity grant. Want to know more about maternity benefit or grant? Visit our website or contact any of our offices to have someone assist you. Also, be sure to visit our Facebook page and give us a like to stay informed. Social Security Board, safeguarding you, your family, your future.
To decrease your risk of being bitten by infected mosquitoes, use proven personal protective methods too. Apply an effective mosquito repellent to exposed areas of skin according to manufacturer's instructions. Wear light-colored long pants and shirts while outdoors in the early morning and late afternoons. Further, protect vulnerable family members like pregnant women, children, the elderly, and persons who are unwell by using mosquito nets to sleep or rest, even during the day. Fight the bite and protect yourself and your family too from mosquito-borne diseases.
Great Belize Productions Channel 5, proud winner of 5 Caribbean Media Awards for 2019 and 2020. Best Television News Item, Best Responsible Coverage of Children's Issues, Best Health Education Journalism, Best Television Commercial Spot, and the People's Choice Award, with special mention by the jury in the Best Television News Item category.
And we're back, and we are moving into our how-to segment for today. We are joined by makeup artist Tanya Tanisha. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
And we have, well, your model here today is Miss Brianna, I have to say that. And Tanya Tanisha, who's wearing possibly the coolest shirt I've seen so far.
Right.
You could go ahead and show that off, right? Fully vaccinated. Gotta get one of those. But the point is that you are going to teach us how to do Halloween makeup at home.
Right.
Like for beginner level, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So some of these hacks I use still personally.
Okay.
But today I'm going to show you guys how to achieve certain, special effects looks with, by using stuff that you can find at home.
Okay.
All right. So for me personally, as you can see my eye, I have some a lesion looking like I got scratched in the eye. And of course the contact lens, you can always up the ante when it comes to Halloween.
No, right.
So what I'm going to do for her, I'm going to show you guys how I achieve the same scar-like look.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to use only, I'm going to use like 3 ingredients for this one. So regular.
This is what you call scar wax?
No. This is scarring.
Oh, how to do a scar.
Yeah, this will show how to do like burns, how to do also wrinkly skin and things like that, scrapes and stuff. So first thing you're going to need is toilet paper.
Okay.
Easy. A little bit of water and school glue. That's it, really.
All right.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of glue on my palette. I'm going to wet my finger just to wet the area. And let's start. I'm just doing. I'm going to do it on her forehead. So I'm just going to wet the forehead just a little bit. And I'm going to take the tissue, a torn regular piece of tissue, and I'm going to put it on here.
Okay.
Wow.
Now I'm going to take the glue, press it along the edges. Right.
So this is just regular white school glue.
Regular white school glue. You know, as kids, we used to play around with the glue, let it dry, and then peel it off and say, oh, we're decomposing. It's the same concept. It's amazing that all these childhood things come right back.
I know, I started playing with it already. I'm like tempted to do that one where, did you do that in school?
Always.
You make your hand peel
all
off?
the time.
We did, and imagine we're prepping ourselves.
Or poor parents, we didn't think of what things cost then.
That's true. Hi, Mom. So I'm just gonna take that, and then once it's on the skin, we're just gonna let it dry fully.
Yeah.
And then.
So you put it on with the water. The water helps it to stay to the face.
Yes.
And then around the edges, you use the white glue.
Yeah,
to stick
use
it
the
down.
glue. So for a more crinkly, more wrinkled effect, what you can do is you can add more glue to it. And it's not going to be perfect. It's going to tear. It's going to be all over the place, but that's
you have
fine.
to be gentle.
Yeah, but you know, it's fine. We don't want it to look too uniform. We want to look like we got busted in the face, you know?
So it's not supposed to look
So
like
it's not supposed to look perfect. Yeah.
Paper.
So what we're going to do after this is we're going to apply our foundation or face paint or whatever we're using. And then we're going to cut it open. And through TV magic, I'm going to show you because I've already done it on my other model who's right there waiting for me. And so when this dries, I'm just going to show you how I go ahead and paint it.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I'm going to show you guys how I make fake blood.
Ooh.
And again, these are things that you can find in your home.
So you don't have to buy it?
No, you do not have to buy it. You can make it at home. It's non-toxic, and it's actually pretty delicious.
That's the blood.
Wait,
yes.
What?
Yes.
Delicious.
And it's really delicious, and I'm going to show you guys a video on how I actually make this. Yes, it's really good. It's really, really good. So if you look at this, it kind of looks like it, right?
Yes, it does.
It looks a lot like it.
Okay, open your mouth to taste it.
You can, no, I'm serious. You can take a spray in your hand and then
really?
taste it. Yeah, it's really good.
It's meant to look like
It's
blood,
a mental
right?
thing, yeah.
All right. So I'll try to come up with telling you what it is. That's what it looks like.
Tell me what it tastes like.
You're bleeding.
It's really good. It's good.
Okay.
It's really good.
I'm fine consuming my own
blood-like
looking liquid.
It's totally fine.
I'm good.
You're not gonna try it?
I'm gonna try it.
Okay, it's fine. But what I made this with was actually powdered sugar, cocoa powder, and food coloring.
It's like red velvet. That's what I was thinking.
Exactly.
That's what it tastes like.
So if you look on the screen, I showed you guys a video.
Okay.
I made a video, showing the process of how I made it.
Milo, that's what it was. I was thinking red velvet the entire time. I'm like, this is like red velvet.
But it works, you know?
Yeah.
And I didn't measure anything. I just pretty much eyeballed it, put it in a jar, shook it up. And, you
add red and green.
Red and green, yeah.
So that you move away from that Christmas red to more the blood red.
Exactly.
Yeah. Ooh.
So you see how that looks? It's pretty gory, but it's a hit with the kids, especially when I'm doing Halloween makeup for kids and stuff. Of course. You know, and like I said, it's non-toxic, so they can ingest it. It's totally fine. You know, sad for their parents when they get the sugar rush and running all over the place, but that's fine. You know.
Or the poor parent who comes in and I'm like eating my blood.
Right. So I've done looks as well with this. For years. For years now I've been doing looks with fake blood and stuff.
Why'd you decide to make your own?
Because it's just one of those things, I saw it online and I said, so I can make this because I can buy it. But again, when I'm working with kids and sometimes people develop allergies and things like that, I wanted to come up with a safe, non-toxic way to make it, and it's there. There are so many ingredients. This is just the ones that I use.
Okay.
So you can do it with corn syrup and stuff.
There you go. Your DIY fake blood.
Fake blood, yes.
And that's a trick there because I was wondering why you had the green, but it makes sense if you want the darker color.
Right. So it adds a little bit more depth and stuff, so it makes it look a lot more realistic. And if you want it dried on, thicker blood, you can add flour or a little bit of cornstarch.
I think what's fun to emphasize here is that these are household items.
Exactly.
You don't really have to go out to find these items, and so it's a fun activity for you and the kids if you really want to do something like that.
Exactly. Now there's a, so I'm gonna show you guys real quick my other model.
Come on. We got
Liam.
Yes. Hey.
It's you.
Come.
Yeah. We gotta wake him up from the dead.
Yes, wake up from the dead. Hi, your zombie walk.
Okay, you can go off and do it again.
All right, hurry up, go.
Because he was practicing his zombie walk, so now we'll do it again.
Come, do your zombie walk. Come on.
Let's go.
Yeah.
All right, there he is.
You're a good-looking zombie. All right, so can I get you?
So this is to show you what it looks like.
Yeah, so this is good. This is just showing you guys more or less what it looks like. So have a So we peeled it off a little bit here.
Yeah.
But this is what the dried on version of it looks like. Turn your head. Right? So it looks like crinkly skin.
Right.
And to add more of an effect to it, so what I can do is sometimes I would just carefully break it open. And then it looks like loose skin.
Skin is peeling off.
Oops, sorry. So it looks like peeled off skin. So what I do at this point, I'm going to take a little bit of paint. And this isn't special paint, it's just paint that I get from any craft store. So I just take a little bit of paint. And I'm going to fill in these areas here that prematurely peeled. And I'm going to take my little brush here just to add some spookiness to it. Gonna get some black. Yeah, much better. So I'm going to paint inside black so it's weird and gory. And this is Liam's favorite holiday. Well, not a holiday, but this is his favorite time of year.
So how do you choose what you want to do for your face?
Well,
you like scary?
What's your favorite character for Halloween?
a football zombie.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he wants to be a football zombie.
Okay.
Nice.
It's pretty specific.
I know, right?
You're lucky I'm mine at this this field. So I'm gonna take some of my fake, but and I want to show you something too. Something else that I do. So with the school glue as well, what I can do is I'm gonna show you guys how I make a scar.
Okay.
Using just school glue as well. So one of the things that we did, and let me just show it on her very quickly. So I'm gonna use my hands because again we like getting messy. So I'm just gonna show you real quickly what I do on her to create a scar. I'm gonna show it on his face because it's already dry.
Yeah.
It's already dry, sorry. So I'm just gonna make a line.
Yeah.
With the glue and let that dry.
Okay.
And then when that dries, I come back and I make another line. So you're gonna layer it on, sorry. So of course it's time consuming. It takes a little bit to dry. But when that's dry, and I did it on his side of the face here, when it's dry, I can cut it. Hold still.
So that's all glue?
That's all glue.
I'm just making sure it's not the skin.
He thinks that you're cutting his face open.
No, but it looks fun.
Right.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think right now
fun.
somebody's calling 911 as they see this video.
Right?
It's like, what are they
Call
doing?
human services for me. So I'm just gonna carefully cut it. And it kind of gives that illusion that we actually have our face ripped.
Are you okay?
Well, listen, if you would see this shot right now, if you cutting that glue, it does not. You know, I'm sorry if you just tuned in and you saw that. This is special effects makeup. Don't be too worried. Yeah.
Right?
Okay. So let's see here.
So I'm just gonna cut it a little bit more, a little wider. Don't worry, when we're at home we do this a lot more professionally, but for the sake of TV.
Yeah.
So I want it open a little bit, and when it's open like that, you can paint it with a little bit of black.
So once again, what he did was just you layered on school glue till
did,
it dried,
and
and then you put the paint on top of it.
Yeah, right in between the little lesions here, all the little cuts that I made, I'm going to put the paint
and
in
it could
there.
almost look like an extended smile.
Exactly. So even if you wanted, all these hacks that I'm showing you is to achieve a lot of different Halloween
There's so
looks
much you
and
could
stuff.
do
There's
with
so
it.
much you can do with it.
Yeah.
So if you want to look like the Joker or Harley Quinn or anything, that's kind of one of the methods that we use to kind of get that extended smile or stuff. I get it. All right, and of course for added effect,
we gotta get in there.
We gotta get in there with the fake blood.
Don't open your mouth. It's not to eat.
I think he likes it. So we just add a little bit. It's gory. Yes. Oh, sorry. There we go. So we have the fake blood, and he can eat it if he wants.
Don't forget that
of course.
open wound.
Well, let's
that
do this one right
bleed a
here.
bit. It's cold, I know.
Oh, gross. And it looks great when it starts dripping down and everything. It gives you that same kind of effect. I love it.
I love it.
This is the only time of year I love it.
Do you eat it all the time?
I ate it one time.
Okay.
We did this for school one time. Not last year, the year before, and it was so cute because everyone was staring at him.
Yeah.
He had this. Everyone had their little Spider-Man costume, their princesses, and everything. And here he came, walking in with all this blood on his shirt and everything. It was wonderful. So let me show you something else that I made. This is called scar wax.
This is what I wanted to know.
So this is homemade scar wax. Yeah, you guys can share that. And what it is really is just flour.
It feels
and
like
Vaseline.
Flour and Vaseline.
Flour and Vaseline. So if you look at the screen, I did a gunshot wound using that, and it's pretty fairly easy to use. You know, it was horrid. My mom hated it.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, so I think they're showing it now. So it was literally a gunshot wound that I made. So it's pretty easy to use. So what you do is you kind of knead it out like dough, Play-Doh.
Yeah.
And then you can blend the edges using more Vaseline, and it melts. So again, I just painted it, added some foundation on it to kind of blend with the skin. I made that same fake blood.
You glue it on?
No.
You just pinch it on.
Yeah, you pinch it on.
So if you want to give him like a Joker ear.
The only thing with the scar wax though,
gosh,
this homemade. Yeah. So I stipple on the fake blood. Get it dripping. It was actually pretty good. I think I ate some. Yeah. And then that's it right there.
That looks so realistic.
Yeah.
No,
it was gross.
If I walk in the house with that.
that was too much for your mother.
Yeah, I think so.
You should have said, Mom, please don't watch this.
Imagine you found me on the floor with that. Oh my goodness.
Right?
That's not what you did.
It'd be crazy. So the only thing about it though, with these homemade scar wax, you can only use it for maybe taking pictures and stuff, not for prolonged wear.
Okay.
Of course, because it's made from Vaseline. So of course, if you sweat, you're gonna look a hot mess.
Okay, good to know.
Yes, but it's very easy to make. You guys can follow me on my Instagram page, Shana Tanisha the MUA, or you can follow me on TikTok. I do some tutorials as well, and I'm gonna be posting some more of these tutorials for Halloween.
Okay, so I think this is such a, fine. You may not be able to dress up and go anywhere, but it doesn't mean that you can't have a fun time at home or at least look the part.
Right, exactly. And Halloween is fun. It's fun, Oh yeah, I spend a lot of time.
I like that one.
My son absolutely loves Halloween. It gives kids the freedom to.
I can see where he gets it from though.
Yeah.
It seems like you have a passion for Halloween as well.
Yeah, and it's amazing how he is with it now.
Yeah.
It's birthday, then Halloween, then Christmas. In that order for him.
All right. And there you have Brianna. Well, thank you for showing us how the toilet paper dries on your face. Right?
Yeah.
We've been talking about toilet paper all week. This is one new element.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's funny. So again, it's the same thing. When you get that toilet paper dried, you can always just cut it out, peel it off. I think it's better when you just peel it off with your hands. It looks more realistic, than so.
More rugged.
Yeah, we want rugged. So you just peel it off. When you get that open wound, then you go ahead and paint that, put your foundation on there, and then boom.
And all you do is pat the paint on top of it. That's it.
Yeah, you just take the time, pat the paint on it. There's a picture that I did, a clown makeup that I did, where I did that same glue method, and I just kind of carved it out. That one right there. So I carved it out again with the fake blood. Carved it out, painted it, and then you get that looks like your face was ripped off.
That's glue?
Yeah, that's
glue.
all glue.
Yeah,
that wasn't even toilet paper. That was just a layer of glue.
Right.
And then I carved it out.
Okay.
So cool.
So all these little Halloween hacks you can do. You can up, like I said, you can up the ante.
Let's see how easy this is. I'm like,
oh yes, that's
devious me wants to put a bloody face on her.
Go ahead. Right. So Marlene's gonna get in there. Yeah. So paint right in there.
Ooh.
Right in there.
And then, you know what? Let's get some.
Yeah.
Let's get some of this powder on and pat it right there. Here you go.
Pat it on?
Yeah, all over.
Like all over
the tissue, yeah.
Oh, the tissue. Okay, so let's see.
You sure you don't want to get on this?
I'll watch. I'm enjoying seeing Marlene do this.
I just want to see how easy it is. I would put the fake blood, but she's wearing such a beautiful top.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's where you come in, sir. Let's put some fake blood on you.
Yeah. Put some green.
Yeah, just pat that in. And I've done this with witches, green witches, purple witches. Like I've done a lot, so. And like I said,
Ooh.
you can up the ante. And you know, if you want it more realistic, like I said, you could just put foundation, your color foundation on there. There you go.
Oh, look at that.
See?
It already looks like something.
See, I don't have to work anymore.
No, there you go.
Well, we said it had to be easy enough to do at
Yeah,
home.
Exactly.
So, you know, people are watching saying, well, that doesn't look so easy. Oh.
That's fine. We like ruggedness. We want it to look messed up.
Oh, wow.
That already looks,
yeah, you look
you
like
know, like a scar.
Getting a serious fight.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
But you're
This
green.
one is dry.
All
right.
Oh, let me get, I can open this for you.
Right.
To get in there with a bit more of that black paint. Let's see, where is she there?
And then you can use this brush right here. Stipple on some blood so it doesn't spray all over the place.
I know.
Oh, I already dipped it.
Okay.
Stipple on some blood. Yeah. Oh, that's gross.
Nice.
Yep,
All right.
stipple it on.
Yeah. All right. So clearly I'm having too much fun with this, but you know what it means? If we're having fun with it, then that means that you and the kids at home
I could really see
can
the
have
kids
a
enjoying
great
this.
time.
Exactly. And you know, it's one of these activities that you can do, you know, with your kid at home, just like what you said. Especially quarantine, maybe you might not have the opportunity to go trick-or-treating, but if not, then, you know, you can do this with your kids. Let's make fake blood. Let's dress it up and stuff. So can we get a shot of the blood right here? There we go, dripping down.
Okay.
It's gross. I love it.
Your face is rotting off already. That's what's happening.
Decomposition and everything. Perfect.
Okay, well, thank you so much for coming in and showing us how to do this. Once again,
Thank you
your
for having
DIY fake blood, which is powdered sugar, powdered chocolate, and red and green food coloring, along with a bit of water, and you know, using your favorite white glue, along with your favorite toilet paper. You did find a use for it today.
Yes,
Right.
we did.
I mean, it's useful.
Yeah.
We did, yeah.
And you can be able to make your own design like this. Tanya, you said you have more stuff on your Facebook page?
Yeah,
Yes,
where
I
can
have
we
more
find
stuff on
you?
my Facebook page. My Facebook page is Makeup by Tanya Tanisha. And you can also find me on TikTok and Instagram, Tanya Tanisha, the MUA.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Brianna.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Leah. She said, I'm not going to talk, and she meant it, right?
Thank you guys so much.
So there you have it, tips and tricks for this Halloween. So we're gonna go ahead and take a break now. Oh, we have the winner for the giveaway for Eco Wraps BZ. We're gonna tell you who that is after the break, so stay tuned.
It's Freaky Friday. Every Friday in October, you can double up from $1 to $39 and triple up with $40 or more. All treats only with Smart.
As one of the largest cable and internet providers in Belize, CBC strives to provide our customers with the highest standards of quality, value, and service in all aspects of cable TV and internet. Monitoring our systems closely, our technicians combine creative planning and state-of-the-art technology with years of experience and training to develop and provide the most reliable and advanced cable and internet service to exceed your expectations. For CBC and our team of talented engineers, technicians, and customer service representatives, delivering less than the very best is never an option.
Imagine going through your entire day without the burden and risk of carrying cash on you. Belize's shift to digital wallets has begun. with eCash. We can now skip the cash when collecting money or paying for our essentials, all while using a fast, easy, and secure platform. Simply add funds to your wallet via bank transfer or at an agent, and you're good to go. You will be able to make quick, easy payments simply by scanning QR codes. And best of all, it all happens just like that. Payments are as easy as clicking a link online or scanning a QR code. Download the eCash app from the Google Play and Apple App Store today and take your first step into a cashless lifestyle. The future is here with eCash. For more information, visit www.e-cash.com or contact us via WhatsApp at 613-0257 to find out more.
If you have a baby on the way, here is what you need to know about maternity benefit. It includes both an allowance for 14 weeks and a grant, which is a lump sum of $300. The basic requirements are: you must be employed, you must have at least 50 paid contributions, and you must have continuous contributions leading up to delivery. To apply, a licensed doctor certifies the expected date of delivery. The employer completes the salaries record. Submit your completed claim form as soon as possible. After giving birth, submit your continuation claim no later than 3 weeks after delivery. If the mother does not qualify, the father of the child may qualify for the maternity grant. Want to know more about maternity benefit or grant? Visit our website or contact any of our offices to have someone assist you. Also, be sure to visit our Facebook page and give us a like to stay informed. Social Security Board, safeguarding you, your family, your future.
YAIS is the Sustainable Financing Initiative of YASCHE. YAIS provides ecotour, transportation, and accommodation services through Ecotourism Belize and sells organic seedlings from YASCHE's nursery. YAIS offers educational experiences to study abroad groups and provides local entrepreneurs with business opportunities. YAIS prides itself to support sustainable livelihoods and reinvests all profits in its conservation efforts.
And we're back.
Yeah. We had a bloody time.
Yeah, we spent the break eating blood, fake blood. This is so weird. But you know what? That's why we're going to say thank you to Tanya for coming in. And, you know, like the true star, she realizes people are at home. Not everybody can go out and buy things that they don't need right now, but you can take items that you do have and still have a fun time this upcoming Halloween. So there you have it, DIY edible fake blood, as well as scar wax that you can use to be able to create a spooky face.
Yeah, definitely something that I think I may enjoy on Halloween Day. Definitely.
Okay.
And I'm seeing families across the country enjoying doing this as well. So.
Well, I just think you should come to work on Friday with your, scarred up face.
Yeah.
I just, sorry for who you have to interview for the day. They're going to be a bit distracted. But, we want to say thank you to Tanya. We also want to say thank you to the young entrepreneur, Andrea Castaneda, who joined us all the way from Corozal this morning. She's created a reusable wrap, so that replaces the plastic that you use to cover items or to seal up vegetables. You can reuse it for up to a year, she says, and it's beautiful. It's also environmentally friendly. The giveaway for this morning, the winner is
Lucretia Pot.
Lucretia Pot won
Yes.
herself a variety pack of Eco Wraps Belize. Now, if you want to pick up one for yourself, or if you all, I think this is a great gift item.
Yeah.
I can think of a few people already who I know who'd like it. You can always contact her. She's on Facebook and Instagram, Eco Wraps Belize. And we also want to thank the Honorable Mr. Justice Anderson, who joined us this morning to talk about co-editing the book about pioneering Caribbean women in jurists.
Yeah, that's definitely was an interesting conversation. 34 women selected to be featured in this book. Their stories, impactful stories, even women that have passed are highlighted in this book. Their work across the region. We have some representation from Belize here in that book as well, and so yeah, definitely a wonderful publication. And if I can get my hands on a copy, I'll definitely read it.
Yeah, you know, I do hope that we get it into some of the schools here too. For me, I think it's more, it's one, good for people who are a part of the legal fraternity, but I also think that it is important that we're able to recognize people from right within our region who are doing outstanding things or who have done outstanding things. So I think that that's a key point why we would want to have more people reading this type of book. But we want to thank him for coming in and sharing the story and for telling us more about the selection process. But that's all the time we have for today.
It was wonderful.
Yeah, you had a fun Friday?
Had a fun Friday.
That's what we try to do, right?
Yes.
And with that, if you would like to contact us, send us an email at oye@channel5belize.com. You can also find us on Facebook at Open Your Eyes BZ and on Instagram
at OYE Belize.
And remember to tune in on Monday morning at
Friday.
6:30 when you open your eyes.
And start your morning right.
Until then, keep your eyes, your mind,
and your hearts open.
We'll see you soon. Enjoy your day, Belize.
Open Your Eyes was brought to you by the Belize Bank. Our country, your bank.